Come on in, come on in, come on in. Thanks so much for hopefully you get to catch this and join us. You know how we doing here. Karen Sims in the building. This will be reposted on Twisted Threads Facebook page as well as YouTube channel. But thought I'd come on here today and kind of start with the live. I know some of us Tuesday night, we got a lot of things going on. End of the school year. Hopefully you all are celebrating the different achievements and accomplishments of not just your kids, but hopefully supporting somebody else's children as well. Why? Because it takes a village in order to ensure that our children are raised right, that our communities are set in the right direction. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about, I put in the title, Big Old Butts. Big old butts. And so been talking a little bit in the series about the world is waiting for us. We launched some things with talking about accountability partners and also talking about setting priorities. And today I want to talk a little bit about those big old butts. Yes, the butts. Not on our bodies, although some of us may have bigger or smaller. That's not what we're here for. Talking about the big butts that we put in our way, the excuses that we make for the reasons why we can't move forward. And so thought it was important because I know I sometimes get in the habit of letting those butts get in my way. And so as I always say, I share with you all, but this is for me first and then for whoever else is blessed to really think about taking a look, a reflection inside yourself to figure out what things you have going on and what are the buts. So some of this stuff I did write down because, in my reflection time, I do journal, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But in my journaling and in my reflection time, I thought about the butts that we kind of put in our lives and what placeholders they kind of have for us. So a lot of times butts are excuses. They cancel out our dreams because they allow us the opportunity to just kind of stay stagnant and stay put. So a butt is usually, I recall a friend of mine used to say, if you say, I love you, but anything before the but, that but actually cancels out. And so when we're talking about those big old butts, we want to literally figure out how do we exercise our affirmations? How do we exercise our thought and mindset shift so that we get an opportunity, to not just slim down those big old butts like we would think in the natural, but also figure out how to replace them. So literally figuring out what words we need to say to ourselves to kind of knock our misbeliefs and our maybe straight mindset away from just the normal things. Because a lot of times the buts come, as I talk about, they are excuses. They cancel out the dreams. They're what we use to normalize our fears. I would do that, but I would start that, but I would stop doing that, but. And so they normalize our fears because they give us an opportunity to be like, look, I understand what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not going to do it. So it literally is, sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it is, it could be a legitimate thing for us to say, I don't have the money right now. But if we keep allowing those butts to get in the way, then we will find ourselves in a similar or same place as we were a previous year, a previous month. A lot of times when we are looking to start a new habit, 21 days is what it takes. Now, if you literally take the opportunity for 21 days, every time you put a but in a sentence, to actually write down the opposite of that but that you said. I would do this, but I don't have the money. I would do this and I'm going to get the money. So really changing your mindset, change the way that you speak to yourself, change the way that you allow things to settle in your mind, and you will find a change in even how you set priorities. This is a good way for you to have accountability partners in your life because they'll help you do that. But help us create false truths. So we know in the natural, a lot of folks, back in my day, our behinds were what we grew them. We could not go to the store and buy them. But nowadays, if you don't like what's behind you, you actually can go to the store and get something else. A lot of times we got to think in that same resolve. If somebody can have plastic surgery to change their physical appearance, why can't we do the same thing with our mindsets? Why can't we do the same thing to knock down the false truths that we tell ourselves in the interim of, I don't like what this thing is, but you can change it. So understanding that if you can't actually dispel or dismiss or diminish the butts in your life until you actually acknowledge them. And it's okay if you say, but it gives me anxiety. So let's figure out how to reverse some of those triggers that are giving you anxiety when you think about, oh my goodness, I'd like to buy a house. Oh my goodness, I want to buy a car. Oh my goodness, I want to move out of my parents' house. You know, I've got people on my page of all ages, and they come with all type of situations. I love it because my middle son, and he and I are doing some things together, and he's just like, look, Mom, I'm retiring at 30. Like, there is no change to his mindset. He's like, we got 5 years to do whatever we're doing. Why? Because I'm retiring at 30. Understand that when it comes to those but statements, they literally will, they're declarations. And a lot of times we don't think like that. We don't think about the power of our words. But I know that in my kind of recent moving around, I made some declarations, and the declarations were very specific. And I said some specific things that I needed. And the interesting thing was that as I said those specific things, within less than a few hours, they actually came to me, the thing that I declared, the thing that I decreed. And so, you know, when we think about that in the spiritual realm, knowing the authority that we have in God to speak a thing and believe it, but also we got to figure out, so how do we get some of that unwavering faith that we have? Hello, brother Sam. Hi, Jim. Praying for you and Shane. You know, a lot of things come and we think like, is there something else that we could be doing? I would be in a relationship, but these women are crazy. I'm going to leave that one right there because that's not for me. I would be in a relationship, but I don't go outside. You know, whatever those buts are, they give you an opportunity to say, how can we change that? Because some of us are looking to figure out how to increase our income. Some of us are looking for how to create legacy in our family. Some of us are just trying to figure out what's the next job or what's the next big thing, or do I go back to school? Do I not go back to school? You know, do I participate in a committee on something? And so a lot of those things come to our minds, and we don't always knock down the blocks that we are talking about what this goes on. And you know, it's so much. It's so much. And some of it is we got to keep speaking some things. And thanks, Jim, for sharing that, because a lot of times it is about the us increasing the measure of our faith, but also understanding that sometimes the buts in our lives will limit our mindset. So maybe it was the way we grew up. Maybe it was the environment. Maybe somebody did something to harm us. You know, a lot of times I say this to my kids all the time. Make sure that you get a job with some good health benefits, because you need to get some mental health benefits in there. I think it's important. I'm sure that I did some things wrong, and so you need a therapist. And I don't joke about that. Like, I know they think that I'm joking, but I'm so serious, because while I was raising them, I was coming into my own self. And so growing up as a young adult and trying to figure out what the right choices were, I know that all of the choices that I made weren't right. I know that some of their experiences could have been better in another, you know, kind of setting. But what we got is what we got. And understand that even, and Jim, I'm telling you, even in those times when they're not good things, you know, we do have to be careful what it is that we say. Because I appreciate you saying that, because we don't even always recognize the power of our words. But I'm telling you, these last two things that I really was intentional, and I said, this is the thing that I am declaring. And that thing came, but I had to be specific to channel my mind, channel my thoughts, so that I wouldn't cancel out what I had just said. Because it's like, well, Lord, you know, send a husband, but he need to be this and make this and look like this and do this and don't do that. Sometimes we have to pray about what we want to declare. Like, we can't just open our mouths and just say any old thing, because our words are powerful, because our words have meaning. Our words would be, love Lorraine, send my love to her. Best thing, I'm telling you, I know you got a good thing, Jim. I know that. A lot of things that come, we've got to speak it. So if it's healing in our bodies, we got to speak it. And we got to not just speak it till you believe it. Because sometimes your mind, I don't want to use R. Kelly, but he had a song. It's my mind is telling me no, and my body is telling me yes. Well, sometimes it's the opposite way. Your mind is telling you yes, and your body is like, no, we ain't going to the gym. No, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do those things. But understanding that how powerful is when you have those moments of meditation, when you have those moments of prayer. I know many of our brothers and sisters, and I call them brothers and sisters, our Muslim family are still honoring their time of Ramadan right now. And so this is a time where they're praying every day. They're praying a couple of times a day, and they're fasting. And, it's a lot that comes when we say no to body and allowing our minds to literally regenerate good, positive thoughts. And so if you find yourself in an area where it's like, you know what, these thoughts are not good. Sometimes I have them. It's like, ooh, they get on my nerves, and I don't really want to say this thing, or I don't really want to do this thing. But big old butts. What are those big old butts doing? They're in the way. They're creating barriers and roadblocks on our road to destiny. And sometimes we have to really take responsibility for our own thoughts and our own words and the things that we actually create by just being. Like, we get in our mind that it's like, oh my goodness, this is never going to happen. And then guess what? It never happens. Like, it's not even, and then we're surprised, like, Lord, why didn't that thing happen? Because we said it was never going to happen. So we have to change. And a lot of times, I don't know, I don't want to say it's a male or female thing, but journaling is so important. Look, I've got my journal right here, and when I have these different things, I actually put them in my journal. I've got about 6 of these in the house because I've got a home journal. I've got a journal that I write love letters to my boo. I don't even have a boo, but I write letters to him, because there'll come a time that when he comes, I want him to know that I was preparing for you before you got here. And so it's a big thing. We'll talk some more about that, about how you are able to change your existence. And then a lot of times, we hear people say that when you get out of a relationship, you need to take time to heal yourself, heal your mind. You don't want to jump right into something else. And the reason why that's important is because that person that you spent time with, that person that you were maybe either planning forever with, or maybe you were already in forever and trying to figure out, so what's that next big thing? Look, your thoughts became their thoughts, and their thoughts intermingled with yours, and now they're your thoughts. There's certain things that you will do because your boo did it. There are certain things that you learned how to do because that significant other in your life did the same thing. And then you'll wake up and be like, why did I even do that? It's another big old butt that got in the way. So you got to take the time to heal and kind of unpack some of that baggage. I love the opportunity, because a lot of times we say, oh, pack that in your toolkit. So talking about a toolkit, sometimes writing can be a toolkit, because it's very, it's an opportunity for you to release, and it's very healing. And so if you're hurting about something, you could take the pen to the pad and write it down. Maybe, a lot of folks who are creative, you can write a song, you can make some art, you can write a book. Tony Lovett got a book coming out about one of the most difficult times in his family's life, but they celebrated with sharing their journey with other people. And a lot of times we have to understand that something that was a but. So now Tony's got a book, and it's that he and his wife have written about their personal experience over the last couple of years, and then a but comes. Well, a but comes because it's financial. Because you got to pay to get these books out. And so Tony started an opportunity to fundraise to help with the cost for the book. And I'll share some of that information. Tony, if you have it, please feel free to share it in the comments. But it's such a great, powerful story of faith and love and family. And I'm blessed to know this family and to know the journey that they've had and all of the beautiful children that God has allowed to bless them in their lives. But he didn't let the barrier of, I may not have enough money for something stop him. And because he made that public, I'm sharing that. And I want you all, if you get the information in the comments, if you feel led to support him, understand that it's important. Jim, I'm gonna tell you this, tell Lorraine, y'all better start writing that stuff down, because y'all got some amazing stories. You know, I say this on here all the time to all of you. Your story is unique, and somebody will be touched by the journey that God has placed you on. And so don't be afraid of the things that you've gone through. Understand that every day you get to be in a better place for it. So sending my love to all of the families. But again, those big old butts, get them out the way. Get the excuses out of the way. Figure out a way to erase the butts in your life and understand the exercise that it takes. So say daily affirmations about yourself. You know, say, I am losing weight. I am being in better health. I am in better health. So it's not even being. It's not even that you're on the road. I am in better health. And your mind will change. And then it'll be like, I am in better health. Let me eat that apple versus that cookie. I am in better health. Let me eat that frozen banana and those frozen grapes versus that Sunday Cold Stone. Yeah, all right, we won't tell on ourselves or nothing, but I'm just saying, those big old butts that come in our way, listen and understand that this is not a once done, you know, you put on your makeup and you're all good. It's the same thing as makeup. If you want makeup tomorrow, you gotta make sure that you're applying it again on the next day. So the same thing, women, when we do with our makeups, we gotta start with the brows. We got foundation. Some of us might do lashes, and then we come in with the shadow and the lipstick, all kinds of stuff. We don't allow things to get in our way. So if we got to get up 15 minutes extra or be 15 minutes late, figure out which one is you. I know which one I am. To get it done, then we do it. Why? Because we want to look our best. We want to feel our best. That's the same way we got to do with our words and the things that we come out of our mouths. So, you know, if you desire to be a mother, then say, I'm a mother. If you desire to be a wife, say, I am a wife. If you desire to be a teacher, say, I'm a teacher. And then walk out your life that way. Understand that those faith affirmations, like, they change things like nobody's business, because not only do you get to change your mindset about what you once believed, there are certain things that my parents taught me that were like kind of a no-no. I work for a school, colors are red and white. When I was growing up, I mean, my high school colors were red and gray and white, but we couldn't wear a lot of red. You know, that was some of that religious stuff. Anyway. I've been delivered. Hallelujah. Ooh, I felt that right there. But I didn't wear a lot of red. And then over the time, I started to acquire in the last few years a lot of red. Like, I literally can wear red at least for a week. I don't know about longer than that, but I could wear red for at least a week. And it's interesting to me, because once upon a time I'd be like, oh no, we can't wear that color. Look, if it's bright, I'm gonna wear it. Why? Because I want my husband to find me, and I don't want me to be hard to find, because I'm in all black and white. I'm wearing yellow. I'm wearing hot pink. I'm wearing red. I'm wearing purple. I'm wearing the brightest colors you can find. Because if he come, be like, who was that young lady in orange? Because all the rest of y'all going to be looking alike. It won't be me. Hey. Okay, that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to make it hard for him to find me. That means I need to leave my house, because chances are, the UPS man comes, the post office comes. We get a maintenance person here every now and then. But yeah, no. So I got to go outside. I got to get outside of my comfort zone. I got to show up in places, you know, not nothing crazy at all. But I have to at least be amongst other people. So maybe I'm going to a music festival. Maybe I'm going to a picnic. This is the time of year where a lot of churches have picnics. Look, you better make a friend and be a friend. Show up with somebody. Be like, who is that? I don't know that lady. Is she new to the scene? Get over there and let somebody see you. And sometimes we have to understand that we don't have to be so serious. I'm very goal oriented, so a lot of my goals, I'm like, whoop, There it is, point A to B. But understanding that in our lives, like life just doesn't always happen that way. You don't get to say, okay, it's going to take me 3 years to do this or 1 year to do that, and I'm going to pay this off. Everything takes a plan and it takes strategy. But that's the same thing as you think about the buts. And I'm saying but right now because that but is not an excuse. So if you need to, take that GRE, that's me. If you need to take that LSAT, I know that's somebody else. We ain't going to call her out, but yes, accountability partners. Then you do it. You do it. And I love it because I was watching a training for some things that I'm doing. And it was somebody saying, well, I'm too old to start. And the question was, well, how old are you now? I'm 45 years old. Okay. Well, if you're 45 now, how old will you? It'll take me 5 years to finish the degree. Well, how old will you be in 5 years? I'll be 45. I'll be 50 in 5 years. How old will you be with that degree? 50. So stop making time be a but for you. I would do it, but I don't have time. You'd be surprised what you have time for when you actually structure your life towards your goal. So the same thing, if we know we got to be to work at 7 o'clock, some of y'all going to be to bed by 10. That is not my testimony. I don't get to work every day at 7. No, that ain't my testimony. It just ain't. But I know some of y'all got to be on the road at the crack of dawn before the sun come up. Yes, because you got to be at that job before 7:30, before 8 o'clock. And you render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. But I challenge you today, what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing for your dreams? How are you moving obstacles out of the way? And sometimes you got to understand that, we often, my pastor and PA would often say the enemy inner me. So sometimes we have to acknowledge that we are our worst enemies. We're our worst enemies with our habits, with our eating habits, with our spending habits, with what we are doing, with us not going to the gym, with us watching Love and Hip Hop versus, you could get them to change the channel at the gym. Okay, my gym got TV. So if you bring your little earphones, anyway. They got a whole lot of TV. So don't say you're going to miss your TV show because you went to the gym, because it's all right there for you. Don't say you're going to miss the award show. Plus, it's summertime. Everything is on rerun. So this is the best opportunity for you to get out there. Why? Because you could binge watch everything. Like, get it on your phone. Hey, look, you'd be surprised how many of y'all that I know you all are watching Love and Hip Hop. Woo! I ain't the one. That's too much for me. But whatever that TV show, maybe you are housewives of whomever and you watch faithfully. Those things, we got to take those things out of there. If you got the opportunity to shop for an hour, you can read for an hour. If you have the opportunity to just sit down and watch social media. Some of you, you are good with the time. You're on here for a few minutes. Maybe you're already in the kitchen getting dinner ready and you're like, all right, I got a few minutes. Let's see what this girl Karen is talking about. What's she saying today? Hallelujah. All of that stuff, whatever it is, you have to understand that those are the times where ministry gets created. Because I didn't come on here to be like, and this is ministry 101. No, I'm just coming on here being an encouragement to the people on my friends list, to the people who you share this with, and hopefully it's an opportunity for you to inspire somebody else. My girlfriend Fredisha, who my kids call my first and only friend, she has been going to the gym faithfully. And I mean, certain days I go to the gym because it'd be like, oh wow, she went to the gym today. I shouldn't let her go by herself. And then there are days be like, I would go, but I'm tired. I would go, but I work 12 hours today. I would go, but I don't feel like it. Like, sometimes we just got to be the realist with ourselves and then talk about, why don't you feel like it? Don't you want to be healthy? Don't you want to slim down? Don't you want to live a longer life? I want to see my grandchildren get married. I got one who's still on the way. Somebody gonna sit me in the front row when he say I do to whoever it is. And I'm like, yes, my grandson already. Like, I'm already excited about him. Justin too, because, and all my princesses, hopefully it won't be no crazy situations that Grandma had to have the shotgun. We hoping for that. But with those things, if I say my family is important, then what I put in my mouth is important. And what I put in my temple is important. And I'm saying this to me right now because I got lemon cake. Okay, we ain't even going to go there. But we're trying to keep the lemon cake. Maybe I'll bring it tomorrow and let the people at work eat it, because I should not eat the whole thing. That's all we're going to say for that. So figuring out how you do things in moderation is not all about what you can't do. It's about the things that you can do. Making those faith aspirations and getting those what? Get those big old butts out the way. Y'all know I'm going to do it. Danielle got a big old butt. Karen got a big old butt. Keita got a big old butt. Look, these are things that we've heard in another format. And now we understand, like, literally, what's your big butt? What is your big butt? What's the thing that's getting in your way? If it's prayer time, then go close your door and pray. If you are looking for vision, then write it down so you don't forget it. Record it. But listen, in this whole series of The World is Waiting for Us, understanding that we need accountability partners and that we've got to set priorities, we also have to move some of those what? Big old butts out of the way. And so hopefully you've heard something on here that, you know, made you laugh, but also made you, oh yeah, that made you think about what are the big old butts? What are the obstacles? What are the excuses that you have in your way? And some of them are only the butts that we've placed. So I'm putting my sister on blast. My sister has an amazing talent, artistry. She could do interior design. You know, she could see a piece of paper, a ribbon, and some rocks. All I see is a piece of paper, a ribbon, and some rocks. But what she is able to create is something that's so beautiful, and her mind does something different that mine doesn't do. I have the gift of administration. I can get things done. I know the lemon cake, Dave. I'm stuck on the lemon cake as well. And my sister and niece don't eat lemon cake, so it's all up to me to eat the lemon cake. I'm committed. But with that, as we kind of break those things down and she does all of those things, sometimes she gets in her own way, and it's like, and I know she's going to be like, don't be talking about me. But I'm talking about her because now she's in a season of changing her mind, because she can do this thing and make an income out of it. That's how good it is. Like, it's not just, and the one thing, when I came down here to North Carolina, I know up north, you know, stuff got to be right. You know, this may not be for everybody, but down here, these people will sell you something that is worth 5 cents, but they will charge you $25 for it. And they will not blink an eye. Yes, $25 for the nasty cake, $25 for the nasty things, all of this stuff. So you got to understand that if you make the best macaroni and cheese out of somebody that you know, stop selling yourself short. So tell your aunties, tell your cousins, tell your uncles. You know, my dad, I tell you, when I tell people all of the different things that he has done in his lifetime, like, he would paint houses, like, you know, inside. He was a painter. Because mommy liked the walls painted and she liked new stuff. And I think they kind of had a thing that if he painted the house every couple of years, she would spend less money on the stuff in the house. I don't know what it is. But he would paint houses. And then him and my Uncle Gene, they would wax cars, like they would detail cars. And it was crazy because I'd be like, what is y'all doing washing people's cars? They made good money doing that. And he just liked doing things, you know, that kept him busy and with his hands. And he was good at it. So, you know, all that. Can he do the cutting? Yeah, he could do the painting all around the corners and everything. Every house I've ever had, he'll tell me, oh, this is a nice house, or this is a dump, you know. And anyway, that's a whole nother story. And he would tell me why. He'd be like, you know, these walls ain't that thick, and they just rolled this in on a card, and they didn't really put a lot of time in it. All of those things, his mind's eye would see differently than me. I'm like, but it's cute, you know. You see me, I got my walls, got my painting, got my mama on the side, all of that. We got little things going on. He come in here and he's like, what are you doing? It's like, ooh, this not your space stuff. But he is always looking to do something that's helpful. That's not me. I don't want to wax my own car. I don't want to wash my own car. He can't believe, like, I pay somebody to wash a car. He's like, why would you pay somebody to wash a car? Number one, I'm a girl. Number two, I don't want to. There is no but in that. I don't want to. But I have the means to pay somebody. And guess what? I get an opportunity to be a blessing. So the last thing that I want to tell you before I get off of here, look, we got these big old butts in the way. We got to move them out the way. And one way to remove those big old butts out of your way is to put on a garment of gratefulness. And so what does that mean? That means that sometimes we get stuck in ourselves, and it may be depression. It may be, I feel stuck. I feel like I can't move. I feel like, good is not in my corner. But the thing is, when you put on the garment of gratefulness, it allows you to refocus your mind, your thoughts, your words, your actions to be like, I'm thankful for my car. I'm thankful that I actually own 2 cars. Drive one at a time. It's all good. One, we praying for that car because it's not all that it needs to be. I have 2 cars. I have a home in Pennsylvania. I have a rental spot here in North Carolina. These are things, my oldest son. So it's always, Danielle's the oldest altogether. I had my daughter first and then the 4 boys. So my oldest son, he's like, I only got one issue with you being on the come up now. He's like, you took too long. And I'm like, okay, well, I had to go to school, get some degrees, job opportunity had to happen. People had to retire or move on to other jobs so that I could then step in the scene. He don't want to hear none of that. He's like, you decided to get on the come up after we was grown. Now, my answer to that is not I'm sorry, but my answer to that is, well, y'all ate too much. So all my money used to go to grocery bills. Now I can live a little because I'm not feeding you. Yeah, it's pretty much that simple. If you are having difficulties in different areas, get those accountability partners, set those priorities, get those big old butts out of your way. Get them out, get them out of your way. Why? Because they will knock you over. Like, have you ever, I know people, we used to do in the bump, you do the bump and you hit boo, boo. And I knocked the whole section out because, Karen got a big old butt. It is what it is. Sometimes we got to do that with the obstacles in our dream. Knock those things out of our way. List the opportunities that you might be able to avail yourself to if you just move out of your own way. So you think that maybe your skills are not good enough to maybe be the top boss. So try an assistant opportunity, maybe volunteer somewhere in an area that you want to learn some more about. Why? Because it's always opportunities for you to volunteer. It's always opportunity for places to allow you the chance to stretch and do the stretching. Because the stretching will help shrink down the booty. So, if you do you do those crunches and you do all of that, and then it's, I forget what the other one is, but it slims it down. And so we need to literally, you're going to go on a diet right after. See, I ain't make the lemon cake. Didn't I tell you I'm down south? Look, it doesn't make no sense for me to be heated in the kitchen. Everybody down here cook. Everybody down here cooks. That's why big old butts. Anyway. Get rid of the big old butts. Get rid of the excuses. I feel like I have to keep saying it as more people come on and you see this. Get rid of those excuses that are standing in the way of you being your best self. Like I live a good life right now. It doesn't mean that every day is perfect. Some days I'm like, I miss my babies, the big ones and the little ones. I miss my family. My dad is coming down in a couple of weeks, and then I got a couple of the grandkids that'll come and they'll mess up my house, and then I won't miss them anymore while I'm cleaning up every day. But when you have those chances, then you got to do something about it. Like literally, you got to shake it off. You got to be like, oh, let me call them. Let's do a FaceTime. If I see them destroying something somewhere else, maybe I won't miss them as much. So whatever those obstacles that you feel like are in your way, and some of them are real. I don't want it to be like, oh, this is all like, yeah, Mary Poppins, and if we just, wiggle our nose and put the umbrella up, everything is going to go away. There are going to be hard times, but understand this. I remember just a few weeks ago that I had a challenge that I was watching somebody else go through, and it brought me to tears, and the tears were, I hope they get through it. because I'm only able to celebrate the good stuff now because I got through the hard stuff. So if you are dealing with a difficulty or the hard stuff, understand this. The hard stuff comes to build your character. The hard stuff comes to knock those butts out the way, because sometimes our butts are like cement. You know, that's what they make the fake behinds from. Okay, we're going to stay off of that. Plastic surgery. Do plastic surgery in your own life for your own destiny, for what it is that you want for yourself. Get those big old butts out the way. It's going to be more. I just wanted to get on it tonight to encourage you. You know, we'll be in a couple of places, Twisted Threads. We got a Facebook page. We've got a YouTube channel. Website is going to come. Yes, Dorian, website is coming. Real soon. But the objective for all of these things, really, it wasn't for it to be a ministry. It was so that I saw that there was a need for positive messaging on these social media platforms, and that there are people who maybe right now think that they're the only ones going through it. You're the only one who's going through the, oh no, we about to have an empty nesting syndrome, you know, and my babies are going off. Well, guess what? That's what we worked hard for. We worked hard for those opportunities to be able to say, we did that thing. And understand that, you know, even, and Danielle, I'm thinking of you today, and you remembering your uncle. I tell you, the loss of my mother is the hardest thing that I deal with every day. And so I think a lot of times we have been told lies. I can't call them anything else. They're not tales. They're not untruths. We've been told lies to say that we need to mask when we're not having a good day. But guess what? If I don't know that you are having a difficult day, then I can't share more love with you. So I appreciate honesty. I do it the same thing. If you see mama in the background over here, but there's certain days I'll be like, oh my goodness, like I just went to call her, and thankfully I usually stop myself before I dial, because if somebody answer that phone, woo, we gonna have a problem. Okay. On your hard days, if you are experiencing loss in relationships, in love, in money, deal with the grief, because if you don't, it will always be there, and it will show up in the most difficult ways, and sometimes it will be more than you'll be able to bear later. So deal with it now. I'm an upfront person, and a lot of people are like, oh, you too bossy, or you very, and I'm not confrontational, but they be like, yeah, sometimes you like in your face. Yeah, because I'm not a spring chicken. I don't have time to figure out what this is going to grow into. If I think it's going to be a weed and it's coming up, look, I'm spraying some of that weed kill on it. Say, what? You got a problem with communication? Can you tell me what you understood, where you thought you heard what I said, that you know that I understood what you said that you understood? Yeah, I know I confused you, but with all of that, day by day, we're getting better. We're doing better. I'm doing some amazing things that you'll hear some more about. And I'm doing it scared. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, I've never done this before. We'll talk more about that. And I want to be real in the process, because some of you are looking to do things. I got a girlfriend in law school right now. Like, she moved her entire family and was like, yeah, I'm going to go to law school. And so now she's finished, I think, year 1. And I don't know how many years that is, but that's some real stuff right there. That you're going to move your entire family. Like, she is a mother. This is not just like, oh, well, I'm 21 and free and fancy and I get to go. No, this is, she took her whole family because her why became big enough that she created the opportunity for her how to get it done. That's a whole nother story. Love y'all. Have a good evening. Twisted Threads, Karen Sims. Have a good one. I'm out. Karen got a big old butt. You know.